You see? There is another feeling too coming from a lot of people, and that is that that Jesus, because he's a bit of a nutcase, right, because he thinks he's Jesus, he must be also a bit of an idiot
when it comes to
technology. Right? Even though I've told most of you that I have been an engineer for 40 years, right? I started being an engineer actually when I was 17 years old, and I'm now 61, and it's all been in the field of electronics and computers, right? Do you think that what you think of is going to be something I haven't thought of? Now, unless it's something brand new that I haven't seen, and there might be brand new things that I haven't seen, for the most part I've already thought of it, right? So why would you then treat me like I'm stupid? So what's that about, do you think? Because I often get treated like I'm stupid. Many of you have treated me like I'm stupid. Many of you have come with the idea here to help, with the idea, he's not doing the right thing, so I'll come in and help him.
Well, I don't know how many people have written to you or come and gone, don't know about this app or this tech or this thing,
as if I don't know.
You've considered it 5 years ago, eliminated it, and you know more about it than they actually do, and you can tell them why it's not going to work for our purposes.
But that all just takes my time too.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of doing that? It's like, I already discarded that 5 years ago. I am not going to now write you an email telling you why. Does that make sense? So a lot of people, they email me these things that he just wasn't interested. I'm interested. But at the end of the day, it wasn't helpful. And if I've got to write a reply, now I'm taking up 10, 15, 20 minutes of my own time telling you why I'm not going to use it. And now that's a waste of my time. And if that happens 25 times a week at 15 minutes a time, that's a lot of time. I'm chewing up days of time replying to people's emails as to why I don't want to do what they're suggesting. So, of course, I don't respond at all because I can't. There's not enough time to respond under those circumstances. But coming back to, why do we think that other people are idiots if they don't think what we think? Paul?
I think, I think from a male perspective, like competition, having to prove myself as a man, wanting to show that I know something, wanting to sort of feel better than you.
Yep.
This sort of...
Or better than another man. It doesn't really matter who it is.
Yep. Yes, having to prove ourselves.
Proving yourself, yeah. Or being in a competition to prove oneself. Yes. Yeah. This is a very big thing for most men because most men are in competition with their fathers. Yes. And it's very interesting in a family dynamic because most of the time that competitive thing is being set up by the mother. Like, oftentimes you see the mother feels dissatisfied with her relationship with her husband. And so what she does then is she sets up the male child. She then says, I'm going to make a man out of him that actually is a nice man. That's the feeling many women have. So I give up on my husband ever being one because you can't change him. He's it's hopeless with him. I've tried and it didn't work. All we end up doing is fighting and arguing. So no, I'm not going to do that. So what they do is they get the child, and it's quite young, and they start educating the child in the manner to which the mother wants to be accustomed. Now, what that does is it makes the male child believe he is more important than his father in the relationship. And so for an example of that is like at the moment little Elias is 3 years old now. Yep. He believes he's more important than his mother. He also believes he's more important than any man that his mother knows, other than his own dad. Right? And it sort of sets up this dynamic that by the time the child grows into an adult, he now believes already that he is the most favoured man. Right? Now, if that has not happened, then usually the opposite thing has happened, where the young child has been criticised by their fathers or their mothers, And so now the child feels like he's less than other men and has to prove himself to other men. But either way, you end up with this really competitive feeling with other men. And so when a man says, this is what I'd like you to do, the average man being told what to do goes, I don't want to do that because I've got a better way. Like Paul's way. Shall we have a look?
And I think in my case, Mum idealised her dad.
Yeah.
And it was like,
You've got to live up to Dad.
I want you to be like my dad.
Grandpa.
Yes, not your dad.
That's right.
Yes.
You're not your dad because I don't like him very much.
Yes.
My father. And this is, why do women often idealise their fathers? It's because there's been some codependent, usually emotionally emotionally incestuous relationship with their father. And so that's why they've idolised their fathers. And that's, in that regard, when you think about a marriage, for the most part, the people getting married, if it's a woman and a man getting married, the man is in competition with the wife's father for the wife's attention and love, and the woman is in competition with the man's mother. Mm. And this is why there's all these father-in-law and mother-in-law jokes that go on in the world, isn't there? Because there is all this underlying agenda, all based on addiction, going on in the family that then gets carried over to the next generation. So the damage of that is the child who when it's even from the time of its birth is being educated one way or another with regard to this harm. So you can see it's a very damaging thing to do, isn't it? All right, so that's the... have we finished with that example? Probably not, because that continued to go on, didn't it?
No. I read the email and I said, thank you, we'll take the speakers. And that was all. Yeah.